All right. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We will get started. Hop in there.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be talking about the crazy real estate market that we're in.
Mhm.
We'll be talking about some financial strategies. We have Jenny Tate here with us. She's a mortgage broker. And at the end, we are going to have a Q&A. Okay, so we're definitely going to have an opportunity um, for everybody's thoughts and input. I think we'll be covering a lot of really interesting info today. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm Stephanie Lowe. I am a realtor. I'm an investor. I write books. I'm really, really, really passionate about educating people on real estate, how to use it to reach your goals, reach your dreams, not just of home ownership, but also of financial freedom. And then Max, can you go
Yeah,
ahead?
I'm a realtor as well. I like doing investing as well. I invest in different types of real estate. Right now, I'm doing a duplex. Invested in rent to owns and several different investment strategies. I'm a family guy. I'm a dad. I'm a sports guy. Just trying to use real estate to live the life I want to live.
Excellent. And then Jenny is our guest speaker today. Jenny.
Hi guys, my name is Jenny. I'm a mortgage agent. I've been in financial industry for quite some time now. I actually work directly with Scotia, but now Scotia is one of my main lenders, but not the only one. I also work with the other top banks like BMO, TD Bank. I have three team members. Yeah, well, my team is that I have my admin assistant and I have my underwriters, and my team is built the way basically to support my clients the best way possible. Basically, anytime you call me, I'll be picking up the phone call and explaining the situation, and that's it. That's me.
Excellent. So the three topics we'll be going over today, Max is going to be talking about some investment strategies. Jenny's going to be talking about cash damming, which is excellent if you are currently an investor and looking for some ways to just, make some extra money, strategize, build your portfolio. I'm going to be talking to you guys about pre-construction, surprise, surprise, and kind of letting you know not just kind of the traditional benefits and stuff that we want to let folks know about, but also how it's applying and how it's different in today's market. So just some housekeeping for you guys. Definitely paper and pen will be good for you to just keep some points because we do have some good info to share with you. We're hoping that you guys are okay to be on mute just for now, just so we can move through the presentation. We're going to try to get through everything in like 40 minutes or 45 minutes or so that we can have time to talk. We really do. And there's so much going on in the market right now, so we can't wait for that. We will be moderating the chat. So please use the chat room there and post some of your questions. So as we're going, if there's something that you need some clarity on, we will make sure that we can refer to it throughout the presentation.
Or get to at the end of the presentation and continue on. Some of the stuff that you guys, are asking might come up in the presentation, and some of the stuff might be a conversation for later because it might be a bit too advanced or more specific to you, specifically. And you can talk to one of us or Jenny and continue on from there.
Yes. Most of all, I just want to thank you so much for being with us. It's beautiful outside. You could have been anywhere, but you're here. And we really value that. And so, it's important for us to give you guys some really valuable information in return. And some of you I just haven't seen in a while. So thanks for being here. So how's the market? As realtors, as mortgage brokers, we get asked this all the time. The real estate market has just been really something lately. So I think there is a lot to chat about. I hope you guys can see. This is just a couple of headlines and things that I've seen people kind of sharing. So, we have a potential for interest rate reduction tomorrow. So we're going to wait and see how that is looking. We've seen the inflation rates going down and, Jenny, we were chatting, is it going to be 0.5? Is it going to be 0.25? So that's kind of all the buzz, and definitely we'll be discussing how that's relevant to buying and selling in real estate right now. The condo sales, lots of inventory sitting. This is the worst, or they say worst, slowest, better
Mm-hmm.
word. It's been in the last 30 years. So we're definitely in, in a unique environment right now for when I see these things, I try to look for opportunities in all this, not to be fearful, but for to look to how to align ourselves, how to make sure we're doing our due diligence, and then how to take advantage of some of the opportunities that present themselves. A big topic too and question that people have is, it seems like people have been waiting for this big market crash in the prices, and that's again just another hot topic. So we get our stats released, so like July 1st, and they'll talk to us about June. So in June, we saw the average selling price come down 1.6%. So still kind of holding. I mean, it's down, but I don't think that's huge, drastic decrease in price. There's more to come. We'll talk about it. Home sales 16.4% down. So what we're seeing right now is a lot more inventory kind of sitting in the market. And I mean that is advantageous to buyers in a sense of having more options and not feeling so rushed, and maybe having more position to be able to negotiate and these sort of things. Jenny, anything you want to add to any of those points right
Yeah, I
now?
think people on mute.
Oh, sure. The center thing asks to unmute.
Okay, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Great.
you. I just wanted to say that, yes, every time that I speak with a new client, I'm hearing that, oh, the market is going to crash. But that's not really what we are seeing months over months. And right now, we are actually trending towards interest rates decreasing. So if we would have had that crazy crash, we would have most probably seen it, right? So I would think that right now is that kind of like a perfect spot when the interest rates, we can guys qualify on a mid fours, right? So we are not looking at crazy interest rates anymore. And I don't think we will ever be back to one or twos, which was COVID, which that's basically what COVID did to us. And hopefully we are never going to be in that type of crisis again. So our normal are 3.5%, 3.5%. Right now we are getting a fours, 4.5. So really before there will be total drop of the interest rate and what we think will happen, the prices of homes will start going down. Let's secure you that investment property or your first home or a cottage.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Mm. Okay, and this is as a listing agent, as someone kind of active in the market, then this I felt was important to kind of draw attention to, because it's a bit of a discrepancy, and I think it's part of the reason why so many homes perhaps are sitting. We have like the buyer's desired range, so we have a lot of folks waiting on the sidelines for interest rates to drop, for this market crash to happen with prices, and they're kind of sitting there, and they're trying to find distressed sellers and really pushing to see those prices come down. And then we have the sellers on the other hand, who have seen where their values have gone to, especially during COVID. They saw the person down the street sell for such and such a price, and so they're really holding on to some high numbers. And to find that common range and negotiation um, is a bit of a challenge. Everybody kind of adjusting to their expectations and their situation. So I think this is definitely, a very sensitive, pressing topic as to what we're kind of seeing in the market and why things are sitting there. Definitely, I want to hear your thoughts. We'll chat more about it for sure at the end in the Q&A. And I think this thing again, this potential interest rate drop that we're going to have tomorrow, how is that going to affect, the mix of what's happening here? Okay, so little video here. This is kind of based on some predictions and things that we've heard. So considerations. This person was talking about what's going to happen when we're at 5%. Well, we're under that. What's going to happen next? If we see the interest rates, I think, come down enough that buyers are getting that buyer's confidence back to enter the market, and we have more demand, I for sure think that's going to affect the prices, and I think we're going to start to see an increase of price. We might be getting back into those situations of multiple offers. When we're in multiple offers, then we're having the conditions that maybe you're going to have to be kind of compromising on. We had folks buying no home inspection, no condition of finance, some things that I think are really important for a buyer in the market today. How many buyers are sitting on the sideline waiting, and when are they coming, and what's going to happen there? Days on the market. So again, there was times where homes just selling in a day very quickly. And so that kind of affecting the inventory where now things are sitting longer. Again, people not maybe you're being able to go back and look at a house maybe twice before you put in an offer. So these are some things to really consider on I don't know if we're going to go back to that huge extreme. I don't know what your thoughts are there, but definitely some things to kind of consider and some of the prediction that people have been talking about. And yeah, 5, 10, 15, 40 offers on one property. It
Hmm.
was really something. So we'll turn it over to Max now to talk about some investment strategies just to consider for today's market in general. There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to give a quick rundown of some general stuff, investment strategies, and what you can look out for and things to be mindful of. And then we'll take a deeper dive into cash damming. Thanks to Jenny to give us some more information and details on that. Some of the stuff I'm going to talk about, as you can see here, is doing your research on a builder. Let's say if you're going to get a pre-construction, it's very important to know that the builder has a good track record. Do they regularly have good housing starts and finishes? Are they finishing on time? Have they had any problems with their product or anything else like that? So it's very good to understand that developers are more likely to deliver a quality project on time, reducing your investment risk. Location analysis. If there's something that they say about properties all the time, what's the best and most important thing is location, location, location. You can change what it looks like. You can change the price. There's one thing you can't change is location. Excuse me. So some of the most important things to think about that we like to do when we're investing in real estate, especially in pre-construction, is where is the money going? So if there's a municipality or a city that's putting money into infrastructure, jobs, and stuff like that, transit, it's very important that you look at those things while you're analyzing the return on your investment. So that's very important. So we look at those kind of things as well. You can look at if you want a downtown condo and what, that location brings to you or what type of property that is, or you can look at the outskirts of the downtown and how that growth is happening and where is the investment going in that type of growth. Early bird advantages of getting in early. So when you're on phase one, you're more likely to pay less than when you're on phase 2, 3, and 4. Builders, like times like now when inventory is high and things are slower, you're more apt to get upgrades on your appliances, upgrades on your finishes, stuff like that. So discounts, free parking or discounted parking. So those are very important things and valuable things that can significantly reduce your initial investment compared to when those incentives aren't available. Next. Understanding the real estate cycle. So we kind of touched on that a bit earlier on where we are in the market right now. So interest rates are still kind of high and prices have dropped a little bit, kind of staying steady. We didn't see the uptake in sales that we thought we were going to see, but definitely we didn't see the market crash like the doom and gloom that some people might think of. What the good thing is, if we're on a downswing right now, the only way to go is up. Buy low, sell high. We don't want to buy high and sell low. We buy low and sell high. So if there's opportunity, like we were talking about before, in the market, this is the time to do your analysis and see where you can get those good deals. So I have here, diversify your portfolio. I look at this kind of two ways. Some people don't diversify their portfolio, and there's nothing wrong with that if it works for you. Some people investors will stick to a certain type of investment. That's their bread and butter. It works for them, and they're good to go. If you diversify your portfolio, which we do, and the type of investment in real estate that you have, if something happens in one segment of the real estate market, it doesn't affect all of your investments. So you can have, you can mitigate your risk that way, which really helps protect you in the long run if there's volatility. So long-term versus short-term when you have a property. How are you going into this, investment when you buy a property, and how are you getting out? I always recommend that you have three exit strategies. So when you have an investment, if you buy it right off the bat, if it's a condo or pre-construction, do you plan on assigning it? Do you plan on moving into it yourself? Do you plan on renting it out? Those are three different options. If you're stuck on one alternative alone and something happens that you can't meet that, then you're kind of stuck. And that may mean you have to change so much in your life, or you have to walk away from the deal. Stay informed about the legal aspects. What kind of things are allowed in the condo, let's say? Can you Airbnb it and do short-term rentals? Are there certain condo rules that you have to adhere by? When you're buying, what type of ownership type are you buying into? Are you buying it by yourself, or are you buying it with somebody else? Sometimes there's still different legal aspects that will contribute to what you can and can't do. Also, work with an experienced team like ourselves. It's important to have a real estate lawyer that also works a lot with real estate investment if that's what you're doing. Not all real estate lawyers are the same, and we can definitely help you recommend, if you don't already have one, accountant. Are you buying it by yourself? Are you buying it as a joint venture? Are you buying it as a partnership? Between your accountant and a real estate lawyer, they can help you navigate that. You obviously have wonderful real estate agents as ourselves that work with different aspects of the market together, and we have our assistant here as well, our other realtor, Alicia, she's here, and working with a good mortgage agent like Jenny. Excuse me. When you're working with a mortgage agent, it's very important to work with somebody that is creative and honest and has different options. If they know what they're doing, it'll help you so much more than somebody that maybe relies just on their bank. The bank only gives you the products that they have. Somebody like Jenny, she has multiple products and she has multiple strategies. And that's why we like to work with Jenny. That has a good relationship also with the realtors that they work with. That's it for me for now.
Awesome. Thank you, Max. Okay, so this was a very interesting topic that I know some folks know about and some people don't. So it's excellent for first-time home buyers as well as those who have not owned a property for 4 years, right, Jenny? And it's a way to be able to purchase or put down your deposit without having to dip into your cash savings. So some people are advertising it as zero down. I think that's going to really depend on the purchase price of your property and how much access you have to the down payment amount. So Jenny, can you tell us a little bit more about this RRSP strategy?
It's really extremely simple. If you have not bought any home before, or you got divorced or separated and you didn't have a home for the last 4 years, you can tap into your RRSP money. And how much? Basically, the allowance was just increased from $36,000 to $60,000
Great.
per person. So it
Yeah.
means that if a couple buying a home, they can access $120,000 from their RRSP.
Mhm.
At some point, you will need to return that money back, but it's done in a matter of, I believe it's 15 years. So just think how much your home will appreciate in that amount of time. So it's not free money, but it makes it more accessible for you.
Can you do that with pre-construction as well as a deposit?
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah.
So definitely an excellent way. And I mean, deposits have, I would say, traditionally kind of been one of those areas where folks are really limited, like a big barrier for them to enter into the market. So I think this strategy and more people being aware of it and us kind of talking about it a little bit more, I think it's going to be a bit of a changer for some folks.
Especially now, instead of 60,000, we can borrow 120.
Yeah, that's huge. It's huge. Great. Okay, Jenny. So we'll turn it over to you to let us know more about cash jamming.
Okay, guys. So we will be covering specifically this topic because we will basically be learning how we get our money back from CRA. And that's as simple as that. We get our salaries, we chip 30-40% as our taxes. And now the question is there a legal way to get that money back? And there is through investment. And so let's go to the next step. And cash damming, it's really just one strategy, mortgage strategies out of many other. And I hear clients go online, use those different mortgage calculators, then they get some numbers that don't look too much for them, and then they give up on this idea of owning a home. And my suggestion is talk with the mortgage agent who you trust. Because first of all, our service is for free. And second, we have access and knowledge about how we can get you into the market. So for example, for a first-time home buyers or people who don't own any homes, as long as you have 5% down payment, there are shared equity provider that will top it up to 20%. It means that, for example, for one of my clients, we increased their borrowing power from $500,000 to $800,000. And Stephanie and Max, like that's a huge difference in what
Absolutely.
house you can afford, right?
Mhm.
So there is that. Another one is reversed mortgage. It's for our senior clients who potentially right now 65, 70, and they own a home with no mortgages. If they pull some money out of it right now and buy a home, investment property, that they will move in when they're 75, 80. In the meantime, that property is appreciating, and there are things to be done. That's basically what this slide is about. It's not white and black. There is a lot of, like Max said, creativity. And when we say creativity, we also kind of mean honesty as well. There are things to be done, and every scenario is different. So if you are not sure if you can qualify for the mortgage, we can discuss. And now let's go into the cash damage. So I don't know, guys, if you know the concept of a good debt versus a bad debt. Basically, a good debt, bad debt, let's start with bad debt. It's basically a debt like our primary home mortgage that does nothing to us. We are paying that mortgage after our tax money. It doesn't generate investments. It's not tax efficient. It's basically dead weight, if you want to call it this way. Versus a good debt, it's money that we invested and bringing us there are returns. So now cash damming, it's simply converting your bad debt into a good debt, and you don't add any extra money. Let's go to the next one. And where is this missed opportunity sitting? So when I say investment property, I really mean anything and everything that you think about. Even the basement, like if you're renting one bedroom in your basement, that's your investment property. So this can apply in that specific scenario as well. So what people are doing right now, they're taking the rental income and they're paying the rental property expenses like the mortgage, condo fees, property taxes. And then we have our own home and we have our household income, and we basically paying all our primary home expenses like our mortgage, bills, and everything in between. So this we artificially basically dividing our rental income from our household account. Now, by switching, well, I'll show you the next slide, sorry.
Go to the next one.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Basically, we are staying with the same amount of money. We are not adding anything new. No new cash goes in. But what we are doing, we are taking that rental income, and instead of paying a rental property, we are going to double down on our primary home mortgage. Then when you're paying more mortgage, it means that you have access to your home equity line of credit. Now, how much you put into your mortgage, that extra payment, we are going to borrow from your home equity line of credit. And what we did by that, we converted our primary home into our investment property. So now we took that money from home equity line of credit and we are paying our rental. So if we switch to the next slide, we basically saved and between 1 to 3% on your interest rate. It means that our monthly payment increased. And how it's increased? Through getting in the end of the year money from CRA. And obviously, it depends on your tax bracket. If you are 30, you will see the most benefit if you are at 40, right? If you are higher income earners, which is like if I think it's around $200,000, right? Like if a household income is around 200, but even if it's 30%, we are still see great benefits. So the concept might sound complicated, but it's really as simple as navigating your money in a different way. For right now, it's for you guys just to be kind of like, okay, this concept exists. I can play around with my money. But if you are considering investment property, let's set up. Alicia is like, wow, yeah. Let's set up a conversation with my team. We will take you through full-blown budget. As Max and Stephanie can tell us approximately like what type of property we can look at, what's the potential in like what's the investments, what's the return on investment. We will put that all in our budget and it will spit out the numbers. So just know if you are considering being an investment, that property is not going just to appreciate. Your home is not just appreciating, but we are actually getting our money back from CRA.
So, and some of us are up for renewal, and some of us already have home equity lines of credit, so that could be implemented, and that's something that you could talk to Jenny or us to help, Jenny's team to help start implementing in your investment strategies right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And most of the lenders, TD, Scotia, Manulife, they all offer automatically home equity line of credit when you take the mortgage. And the fastest you pay the mortgage, your home equity line, it's basically this type of equilibrium, right? You pay this, your home equity line increases, and we pull that money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
Thank
It
you.
actually sounds to some extent like illegal, guys, but it but it is.
Great. Okay, I'm sure folks have some questions about that, so we'll definitely want to open up the floor towards the end and see what you guys think about that. Thank you so much. That was a really great topic. When we were trying to go over what some potential topics were for today, that one just like really stuck out because I think it's something not everybody is necessarily aware of. And
well, we have home equity lines of credit that we're not maximizing right now, so yeah, we're definitely going to start looking into strategizing how we do our investments as well.
Guys,
thanks.
you want to hear something sad? Up until a year ago, I didn't know about it, and my account is not set up properly. So yeah, you live and learn.
Yeah. That's why we have these opportunities to sit down and talk, and
Exactly.
so valuable. Thank you so much. Cool. All right. So I will get through mine so that you guys can talk to Jenny a bit more. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about pre-construction in today's market. So this was some of the sort of traditional benefits that we saw and sort of talked about. On the right side, you'll see my shameless plugs for some of the projects that we have going on. This one's at Etobicoke. You'll see Edmonton and some stuff in Calgary. But anyhow, so homes typically were closing in about 1 to 3 years. So definitely the flexibility of pre-construction was traditionally a beneficial aspect. You had a few years to work on improving your credit, saving up some more money for your down payment if you only had a portion of the deposit. Gave you some time for your property to increase, so definitely something valuable. Deposit structure, depending on where we're buying, and especially in the GTA, typically 15 to 20%. So I always looked at it as sort of a forced savings because you couldn't really spend money elsewhere, too much too frivolous, if you will, because you know you have that next deposit payment kind of coming, and so it kind of forced you to really be focused and diligent with your money. So that was something I really loved about it. No payment or financial obligation. So while you or once you put down your deposit to the builder, there isn't like insurance payments or mortgage payments or any costs. You're just waiting, and your property is appreciating, kind of flowing with the market. Buying at today's prices with the belief that future prices will rise. So doing your research and looking at how immigration and transportation and new developments are all affecting where you're buying, and using that as well as the year-over-year appreciation to see how that was going to affect your investment. So kind of doing that work. Any builders issues that kind of came up, you have a 7-year warranty, so it kind of gave you that peace of mind investing in pre-construction for your new investment. And also, when it comes time to close and we're looking at maybe renting it out or selling it out, you have a new beautiful piece of real estate coming to the market. And so we found you'd attract, top tenants. Your property's going to stand out on the market. It's easily marketable. Today's market, still a lot of these benefits apply. We just need to have a little bit more due diligence. We need to be a little bit more aware, and some things have definitely changed. So again, that timeline, that time still provides you that flexibility. If you change a job, lose a job, change cities, whatever it is, your change of situations, you still have time on your side. But now we want to consider delays are definitely happening more often, and we are seeing closings 5 years, 7 years out, and that is a big adjustment. I have some tips for this one in terms of considering if you're going to be investing and you want to have a better idea on when it's closing, maybe picking up something where the builder has already broken ground, so you know for sure that they're on kind of track and the project's moving forward. If you're an end user right now and you're looking to purchase a home for you and your family, definitely look out, because builders are offering all kinds of incentives right now. This may, unfortunately, there might be folks that were trying to purchase this, but they weren't able to close. And so builders are getting some inventory back, and they're selling them $100,000 off or more, offering, we'll talk about appliances and things like that. You want to look for something that maybe has a quick close, so something closing in 3 to 6 months, so you know the timeline that you're expecting. If you're an investor, considering now, again, we may have a longer close. And as an investor, you're looking for returns on the deposit that you're putting down. You might have your money tied up for a few years. So again, up to doing the due diligence, reputable builder, some of the points that Max shared earlier. We are seeing, again, lowest sales that we've seen in 30 years. The market is slow, lots of inventory. Take advantage of that. Look at the prime areas that we've seen doing really well. Again, all those things still apply. Immigration, what's happening close to airport, that sector, lots to really just kind of take advantage of in terms of just understanding what's going on. Assignment strategy definitely was an amazing strategy. If you used it while the market was hot, people would have made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, right now in the current market, it's tough because we've had that shift. Real estate moves in cycles, right? So what I've always told my clients is that even if you are considering to do an assignment, to always have a plan B. And I will continue to stand by that. And especially now. So right now, I don't really push assignment in terms of a strategy to make money right now. I'm looking at it more of, let's get that assignment clause in case we need it for, again, some of these unexpected changes that might come up. But I would say consider to have a plan B, consider to close your property, and then if you want to kind of flip it and gain in the equity, kind of sell. So that's something I would say that's different. Year-over-year appreciation with no expenses, still a benefit, just maybe a little bit slower. But again, I feel like we've kind of hit that peak with the interest rates starting to go down. I do think we're going to start to see a little upturn with the prices.
That valley going towards the peak now, yeah?
Yeah, thank you. And then rental income and cash flow. With interest rates being higher, I think, or I know that a lot of folks' cash flow is definitely affected. There are still cash flowing opportunities, such as the one on the right here in Edmonton. Yes, that's true. Homes selling 179,000. With the rental guarantees, rental demands in these areas, folks were still or so are able to see some cash flow. So it's still out there. there. It's just opening your mind and having a look at different markets. But I'd say that's the biggest thing. And again, with real estate and cycles, maybe right now is a time where you're kind of holding through, maybe breaking even or so. And then once the market shifts again, then we're back into
What
the
I
different
what I
situation.
like about having an investor's mindset is also looking at negative cash flow, not necessarily as a negative thing. How many other investments do you have where you're going to be paying $200 negative cash flow or $300 negative cash flow to get $100,000 worth of equity in blank amount of years? I think
Mhm.
that's a good investment. So with an investor's mindset and just kind of changing the way you think about things, it's not always a negative thing to have negative cash flow. It's really just somebody else is paying for your property and you got lucky before because you were making positive cash flow.
And
Or you
also they're
strategize.
paying off our primary home
Yes, yes,
faster.
yes. Yeah,
Yep,
true.
absolutely. All right. So again, just some more things to consider that with the current conditions, builders truly are offering amazing incentives. Like I've seen cars, gold bars, um, again, appliances which weren't always included.
Free
Um,
condo fees
yes, free condo
for
fees.
X amount of years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all kinds of things. So, if you are in a position or consider that you might be in a position, especially now we've got that RRSP strategy, we've been talking about cash damming, I can get some of your money back. This might be a great time for you to be able to enter the market and start to take advantage of some of the stuff that we're seeing here. This is just an example, Clover Carrington. So, $24,000 to be able to purchase. You can see the price there with GST included because in Alberta there is no HST. It's a landlord friendly area, so investor friendly. If things weren't going right on the rental side, you're able to get someone out, which I think is a big peace of mind for investors. No developmental charges, no land transfer tax, and these are some of the benefits of inventing there. And you can see some of the builders' incentives here: a 2 to 4 year rental guarantee, where before we were normally seeing 2 years of $2,100 per month. Free property management, free condo fees for 2 years, free parking and locker, 5% deposit.
Sometimes if it's a higher deposit, they'll give you a longer prepayment schedule, and we've seen 2.5% by 2.5% like over a long period of time.
Yes. So this is just
Just
another
another
great
thing
example.
to mention about the
Please, sure.
pre-cons of buying new properties, that in the past we could qualify people only based on 25 years.
Mm.
Starting August, we can qualify based on 30 years, which
Oh,
means,
that's nice.
Very
yeah,
good. Awesome. Thank you so
but
much.
it's specifically
Mhm.
as regards to pre-construction, right?
Mhm.
New builds.
That's great.
Yep.
That's amazing. Great. Great. So yeah, here's another example. And guys, know you can reach out to us if you are interested in pre-construction or some of the projects that are showing over here. So again, due diligence, understanding difference between deposit and down payment, chat with your mortgage broker, see where you're at on that. Again, some GTA and Hamilton builders are offering interest payments on your deposit amount. That's not something that I have seen prior to this. So it is like putting your money into savings. So you're not just sitting and waiting now, your money is gaining interest, which I think is amazing. This tip I think is important. I don't know if everybody knows this, but builders need to see 70%, like to have 70% of the sales with money in the bank to be able to get financed. When they're not hitting those targets, that's when we're getting delays in the building project. That's where we're seeing builders being canceled. But there are builders, like our Emblem builder that we use in Hamilton, for example, they do their own financing. So that, for example, as a builder, you can buy with that, they're going to see it through. So just doing that, again, that due diligence on who you're working with and understanding the financial position of the project and how sales are going and whatnot. All projects that are in the pre-construction phase, not necessarily a quick close home, will offer you a 10-day cooling off period. So you're able to review the details with your lawyer and see again and your realtor. Hopefully you're working with someone who knows lots about pre-construction and can support you. Negotiate some of those conditions to work in your favor. And you can cancel if for any reason something comes up that you don't like. Go over it with your mortgage broker, make sure the numbers and everything make sense.
I want to stress the importance of the 10-day cooling off period. We've had clients miss amazing opportunities and the price go up on them in between the 10-day cooling off
Yeah,
period
we have.
because they didn't put their deposit down.
Yeah.
and it's refundable, totally refundable. It's held in trust. It's not something they can take from you. If you have the opportunity to put that deposit down, I would always suggest do it sooner than later, because we've seen too many times than not that price increase or the unit's completely gone, especially in a hot market.
Yeah, entering, like signing that contract locks in the price in that particular unit that you had interest on, and then you do have your 10 days. Sometimes people won't want to sign, or they want to kind of review and do the lawyer review before they do that. Well, you're not locked in until you sign, and then kind of goes from there. So that's a great point to know, that you can have peace of mind with that 10-day cooling off period. It is your legal right. Yeah. And then again, doing your due diligence, having your plan A and your plan B for success in the markets today, because we're definitely in a different time. So this is a project I wanted to chat with you guys about in Brantford. It's great. It's a mix of condo townhomes, freehold townhomes, and detached homes. It is, you saw some kind of highlights there of what's offered just outside of the Hamilton area. All right. So yeah, this is what we have here. So I wanted to share like a really good opportunity for folks, again, to enter or for investment purposes, either one. Highlight something here. So builders doing $10,000 off the price with only 5% deposit, $5,000 decor dollars, 2 years free maintenance on the pottle fee for the non-freehold properties, and giving 5 appliances plus a voucher to Leon's. So that applies specific to the builder. Obviously, builders can take incentives away anytime they want, but that's something that they've been offering right now. And the homes are starting at $574,000. Here is an example of this one end unit here is one of the units that are for $574,000. So we've gone out many times. It's a great neighborhood, close to schools, not too far from the highway. That area as well. It's great. I think when people kind of look for the potential future growth for family wise, a lot of opportunities for
Future
like
growth,
jobs.
very
University is
diverse.
there.
Lots of universities and colleges going down there. Wilfrid Laurier is down there, and it's kind of, they're getting Hamilton people, they're getting Toronto people, they're getting Waterloo region people going down there. Immigration is popular and going down there right now. I want to touch on the pottle fee, the maintenance fee. They usually stay pretty low because it's really just landscaping and garbage removal. They don't cover roofs, windows, and doors and stuff like that. So they usually stay pretty low when you see a maintenance fee like that.
Yeah, so I think this area, folks were kind of, sometimes people are asking me like, where do I buy? Where are there some good deals? This is definitely one of the areas in Brantford. Now, even there's other projects that we help folks buy, and there's some really beautiful detached homes. So reach out to me if or refer if you know anybody that's kind of been looking for kind of a nice up and coming area that's not too far away from kind of Toronto GTA area. Yeah.
Yeah, access to the
So.
403 from Brantford.
Mhm.
You can travel that way.
Yes, so we are going to allow folks to kind of unmute. How did I do for time? Oh my gosh, like right on time,
Yep.
7:46. Okay, so we're going to open up, kind of go through the chat. Let's get some feedback, maybe some points that stuck out to you guys that you thought maybe was valuable. Any questions you have? Let's see. So you guys are able to unmute yourselves now? Yes?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So does anybody have any questions or want me to go back to any of the slides? Please let us know.
And if you have any topics that you guys are interested in the future, please put it in the chat group as well, and we'll try to make a point of diving into that, either ourselves or with a guest.
Contact information also is in the chat for myself, Max,
Oh,
Jenny.
you can't unmute yourself.
You can't unmute yourself. Okay, I must have done something wrong. Thank you.
Take off the mute all.
Okay.
There you go.
Mute all.
Oh,
That's muting them.
press back again.
Okay, let's try this. Okay, can you try that? See if that worked. There we go.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks, Jenny.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, any questions, guys? Any feedback?
You have one question in the chat right now.
Okay. When you see that list, pottle fee, townhomes, I think, will roofs and windows need to be kept the same color in the future? Okay, AP, good question. Not always. It kind of depends on the specific development. So that's just like condo fees. So sometimes, even in regular residential areas, they'll have rules where you can't have clotheslines in your backyard. So depending on what the rules are for that specific, usually subdivision complex or whatever, that will dictate how much you can and can't change.
Great. I can go back to that slide, I think, maybe. Boop. Yeah, just looking at this one. I love this project. I love this community in this area. And actually,
Yep, no problem.
thanks, Adrian.
Thank you.
I've kind of been watching it grow. I think maybe 6 years or something. I've kind of see it really houses come up, and
Development,
yeah,
yeah,
a
for
few
sure.
other builders are working in the area as well. So it's definitely something I've been excited about to be a part of over the
Yeah.
years. It's kind of
Before
cool.
you really only had the casino, which is that was the biggest thing there. But there's lots of nature down there that I've been to. Historical areas. You have the universities are a very big deal right now. So if you're looking to invest, you have a large pool of either students and or professionals that are there as well.
Any thoughts or questions on the cash damming strategy, guys? What were your thoughts on that?
And remember, you can unmute as well.
Yeah,
Just
I hope if
yeah.
I did that correctly.
No,
Yep,
yeah,
it's
Jenny
working
can.
now. It's
Okay.
working well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Alicia, she did too.
Okay.
It can sound a little bit intimidating, and some kind of like numbers are involved in it. So please, guys, like it's extremely simple. Just think that we can bring some money back from CRA as long as you have primary home and investment property, which can be a basement as well. And we just need to run numbers and do the calculations.
Yeah.
Couple questions, guys. With that property that you're just showing there for the Brantford property, do you have an idea when the expected closes?
Yes, I do. I can share that information with you. Some of them, there's some that are available for quicker closes. Like some of them were closing as early as December. We had like some closings that happened this summer. So I think next ones are pushed towards December. And then the next ones I think are closing 2025. Yeah. Yeah, like late 2025. So yeah, if
So
you
will the structure be? I know it's 5% down, but would it be like 5% a year for until close, or how would it
No,
be?
they were offering 5% deposit.
That's okay. 5%
Yeah.
deposit. Okay, so that's I guess you would need what would you need on close? Just 5%, or would you need like 20% to actually close?
So it'll depend if you're buying
As
as
an end user or investor.
yeah. So if you're buying as an end user, and maybe it's your first home and talk to your mortgage broker and you guys can qualify at 5%, then you're cool. If it's an investment, then we're gonna need to go 20%, right? Right, Jenny? Any tips you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's 20%. But
Okay.
again, yeah.
You have that program. I know you have that. I know. I think I know what program you're talking about that will come in and help. I think all you need is 5%, and they will take up to 15% to make it 20.
Yeah, the
Right.
home equity providers, yes.
Yeah. So there's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple of programs out there like that, which is pretty creative actually.
Well, it's exactly like we used to have with the government. So government used to have very similar first-time home buyer shared equity program, which was canceled. And to be honest, it sucked because if that person would be buying a home anywhere in GTA, they would not be able to afford it because like they would qualify at income up to 120 multiplied by 4.5. Basically, you can like where the hell you buy a house for $400,000. So that's why when the government canceled that, it didn't make much difference, at least not in our area. But those are private companies, private organizations, and they go up to $250,000 in basically down payment.
That's great.
Yeah, we have Adrian here asking again about what we see in the market. Will we be seeing? I think he's asking 35 to 40-year amortization interest rates?
If we are seeing it right now,
Or will we be seeing it? And
so in Canada, there is no, like, if you buy a home, primary home, with the bank, you don't usually get mortgages with interest rate payment only. If the question is if there are situations right now like that, yes, there are, that people are getting through like 40 or 50 years amortizations, but that's not made by design. It's basically products like VSTD. They went through their trigger points, basically when how much they're paying towards interest versus principal went off balance altogether. And now the only payment that they're making is towards their interest, and amortization is just growing. Yes, there are situations like that. I know that TD and other banks calling those people and asking them to start contributing bigger payments, but it's not normal.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Walter, just to speak back to the Brantford one,
Yeah.
when I had some folks looking at them in the summer, I was able to negotiate one of the quicker close ones, and the builder was already reducing the price, and then I was able to get the price down like a little bit more. So I'm also thinking, I don't know how flexi they might be on deposit or deposit structure or some of these things, but if you are interested, let me know, and then we can kind of
Yeah.
chat about it. I can show you the details, and we can see if there is further wiggle room with the builder. I'm happy
Right,
to
that
try.
sounds
We
great.
got a cool. See how happy she looks to be standing with us. We got some
yeah.
we got some nice connections there. Did you have a question, Walter, too? Anything else?
No, well, I'm thinking, more for my cousin. He's in he's in Mississauga right now, but they got three young boys, so I think they're in like a two-bedroom in Mississauga condo that they need more rooms. So I'm just kind of figure out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking about like them as far as, maybe a next place for them to go. And then, I'm also looking at it maybe from an investment standpoint for myself, or,
Yeah.
be making a move out there. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and please, guys, if you do have any other topics that you guys are interested in that we didn't cover, put it in the group, and we will try to make a point of getting a webinar on that. We like to stay engaged. We like to give you guys, good content and things that you guys are interested in. Maybe something we might, put a poll out there one day, and you guys can vote on different things.
Cool. So I mean, I'm almost afraid. Do you guys have any questions or thoughts on the current market? I know that's kind of where we started. Does anybody, yeah, questions or comments or thoughts on some of this pricing issues, interest rate drop tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm just glad that you're looking at properties kind of outside the GTA that maybe is a little bit more cost effective for people to, for some buyers, or
Yeah.
people to actually be able to buy into. I think that's kind of unique to some of the properties I know in the past that you've done as well. That you're always kind of looking at these little pockets, little jewels outside of the
Yeah.
main. So, so thanks for bringing these opportunities to our attention.
Thank you.
Hey guys, sound check. Can you hear me? It's Adrian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey guys, yeah, just quick feedback. I think something that like a lot of people, maybe like Canadian market here, are thinking about. We know it's price discovery happening right now. So price discovery, we relate to it a lot more from securities and stocks. Like that's where it's way more volatile. You're like, what's the actual value? What should it sell for? What's it worth?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's literally happening in the real estate market at the moment.
Very much so.
That and it creates stress. Like it's challenging for sure because we're uncertain. But I also
Especially
don't.
for sellers.
Yeah, definitely hard to. I'd say easy to buy, difficult to sell at the moment. But I just don't wholly really believe in prices need to match median income. Like that's the most bearish and almost
Mm-hmm.
apocalyptic call for the region.
Yeah.
That like look, like if you're GTA based, like inflation's kicked in and like maybe about 70,000. Like someone that's around 30, older than that. Like they drove in their income to about that. That's a common income for the region right now. But to say if you earn 70, are you gonna be able to get a mortgage within reach that's gonna match that? Like, is this cycle actually gonna take it there? I think highly unlikely because you make
Even
70, but somebody else has a partner that we hope they love them and they're a great couple that last forever, but they make 140. Like so you're 70,000 competing with 140.
yeah,
Low income's advantaged. There's a lot of barriers in the market. It
Yeah.
just
yeah.
it's like
So
yeah, we have
it's
go
being
ahead, yeah,
creative.
go
Go
on
ahead.
that.
No, I was saying it's being creative and looking at things slightly differently from an investor's mindset. Sounds like you like to listen to the numbers and see stuff like that too, and the news financially. When you look at renters in Toronto in the GTA, there are 2 and 3 people renting what used to be just a single family. So, duplexes are turning into triplexes. People are in the attics and stuff like that. If you look at it in terms of investors,
Wow.
people are buying with their brothers and sisters now and their parents and their friends. Being in the market is better than not being in the market because you're actualizing the equity growth. And looking at things in terms of this may not be your forever home. This may not even be your starter home. It's just a vehicle to get to another place. So your investment property might be your down payment for something else later on.
Max, it doesn't even need to be your home.
Yeah, yeah,
You can still be kind of buying that
yeah,
property in
yeah.
Edmonton
Yes,
while you can
yes,
afford it
yeah,
and renting here, but at least you know you own something, right?
yeah.
And it, yeah.
You buy in Edmonton, you may potentially get positive cash flow. Before you even get the property, you could take some of the equity to qualify for it later on if there's, equity growth in there and or take some out or do something else. Right? So being in the market is way better than not being in the market at all.
I'm going to share another example. And there are plenty of folks who own but don't live where they own. Like
Mhm.
I that's quite common. And I had a couple, and I've helped different people do this over time. Um, I remember when like Tilsonburg was just Woodstock, Tilsonburg was just kind of like kicking up, and we could get detached homes for like 300,000 and 400,000. Okay, I had a young couple that was just getting married. One was a nurse. Unfortunately, I don't remember what the husband was, what his job was, but they were able to purchase. But they were located in Brampton, so I helped them find their rental home in Brampton. They purchased in Tilsonburg. They looked at duplexing the property out there, got tons of cash flow. The property has more value has gone way, way, way up for them. After a couple of years, they didn't even have to sell it. They were able to refinance because the equity had gone up enough. They were able to purchase something here. Like that when I look at them, like that's the
Mhm.
idea. And unfortunately I know people who kind of had that opportunity and didn't take it and then haven't been able to enter into the market since then. So when I try to talk to folks about having that open mind, I think it's a really important, like, looking at steps and stages um, to be able to build wealth and have like that long-term strategy. But it's just an idea, and some people, aren't into that, and they're okay just renting, and that's okay. That's what you want. But we're here to try to educate and kind of open folks' mind and show
Mhm.
them a different way. So
Mhm.
yeah, thanks for sharing that, Adrian,
Yeah. So
and
many good
bringing it up.
questions
Yeah,
and insight.
yeah, that price thing.
Hmm.
It's a big conversation.
Price of
Price of
entry.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give a quick feedback. Like people,
please.
they know like I'm an industry guy myself. People
Mhm.
mainly know that. I think a quick reminder would be that like Q1, first quarter of this year, so 37% of all mortgages that went to renewal, they chose to go to like a 30-year AM, mainly, right? Like people were up for renewal, but they chose to max out their amortization mainly.
Hmm.
So it's just I was gonna add on what you guys were saying there with cash damming and other strategy that involves a mortgage and leverage and interest. It's that is your alternative paying market rent? No, you own an asset and you're
Exactly.
trying to
You have
keep your
nowhere to
asset.
go.
You have
You have nowhere
savings.
to go. That's the problem.
Last choice. Yeah. We're trying not to get to the last choice. We're trying to keep our asset for a better
Yeah.
macro
Adrian,
environment.
and just to say, so that scarcity about renewals and the payment shocks, to be completely transparent, it's not happening yet because people who are renewing right now, they're not reviewing from 1.5%. They're not, because that 1.5% and 2%, the renewals will be coming in 2 years. And I think that's why Bank of Canada is trying to bring us to lower interest rates right now, because those people who are going to renew from 1.1% to like 5%, they would not be able to pay their mortgages. So I think that's why right now we are seeing this increase already, and it might be more like aggressive than we expected. Because if they will not decrease that interest rate right now, there will be a collapse of middle class.
Mm.
It's true. It's like, yeah, unemployment is a concern. Default is a concern. Like cash flow and wallet stretched too tight is real life concern. So concern remedy to that or mitigation.
Well, a healthy, well, yeah, we will not go into politics.
Cyclical, it's all cyclical. Nothing's forever.
But it's hard. It's hard for young generations. Like I see young people are coming. You were talking about 70-40 salaries. I'm seeing like every person making like 80, 90,000, right? Like total income 160, 170. And they're still having issues qualifying because they don't have enough down payment and they cannot afford the homes that they where they work. Right? And then we do other stuff like increasing their down payment with the shared home equity provider, or we're tapping into mom and dad. But sometimes people don't think about those ideas, and you need to kind of flag it out because kids who are like 25, 30, usually their parents already have paid off homes. And we can tap into that and ask for gift and help. So it's not totally like horrible out there.
Yeah.
Challenge I think though is that even with those individuals making that kind of money, it's always that time period where you gotta hide under the desk and hope that your name doesn't get called if there's a calling at the company, right? I know that when we used to work at TELUS in November, we all used to hide under a desk or just like try to, not be there because we know that heads were they were always going to cut overhead because of shareholders, right? So that's the only challenge too, is that sometimes. Well, I also read an article. I think you might have read that article, a Toronto Star article that came out where a lot of the young people 20 to 34 who are going to the top universities, a lot of them are leaving,
The
right?
country itself. Yeah.
So that's like that is going to be in maybe 3 years. That would be your 1% of 1%. So that is your top middle class, right? So that's kind of a scary proposition if they're leaving, right? Because I mean, like obviously, like some places like Florida, Delaware, maybe Texas, where some places down there they're a little bit more, either they don't have state taxes or it's everything's a little bit more lower cost as far as maybe homes
Cost of living. Yeah.
cost of living and the value you'll get for a home, right? I guess a topic that I was thinking about, Steph and company for the future, if you could find a way to talk about ADUs, the ability to kind of build like these laneway homes, the ability to kind of take maybe a single family and stretch it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely. That's definitely. I might get into that when I'm doing a legal duplex right now. It's similar concept, but you have, like you said, the laneway homes. People are doing homes on top of garages and the garden sheds. A lot of them are modular now, so you can get really good prices on it as long as you know what you're doing and what you're getting into. What they can do with 400 square feet in a condo in Toronto,
right?
and
you could stack
in
up
a
too,
shed.
right? Because you have air rights, right? You could
Yeah.
stack on top of each other, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. So
So yeah, so long.
thank you for that. We'll make a note of that and look into that one.
Sounds like fun.
I wanted
But
to
yeah,
touch
we'll do
on
that.
a bit about what you're saying with people leaving as well. Location, location, location. So we have one segment of our demographic leaving, but we also have to look at the offset that we're going to get from immigration. And a lot of people that are coming from outside of Canada are coming with money, and they
Okay.
have credit. Some of them they have programs where sometimes the banks or the government will allow them to use the credit and assets that they have from back home to qualify to get mortgages. So if the government we expect this many from Canada, well then, so if we expect this amount of people coming into Canada, some of that demographic might be going to Brantford. Some of that demographic might be going to, outside of the inside and outside of the GTA. They also did some rule changes, or they're trying to do with the universities and colleges, so that there's places for them to stay. The colleges were just taking everybody in, and they didn't have anywhere for them to stay, and that was offsetting the local rental pool. And even the students that come, primarily university students, come with a lot of money and can afford things in downtown GTA. So there are condos, high-end luxury condos, that are targeting university students that are coming in with over six figures into the bank account, that
Mhm.
offset how people bring money into the country, that don't get limited by the foreign buyer taxes and stuff like that.
Um, and we're not gonna go political, but is there
Yeah.
strategic economics, like as far as other parts of the country being immigrant, like for immigrants to go to build up those areas? Like for example, I know maybe like it's 5 years for immigrants to be able to get like full
Mhm.
citizenship right. But maybe is the government doing anything to kind of incentivize for other areas of Ontario or Alberta, whatever, to be built by maybe
Yeah.
saying, okay, we'll fast track it to 4 years if you
Yeah.
go to North Bay, if you go to Timmins or whatever. I mean, I'm
I'm
just you know.
I'm not, I don't know if anybody else is familiar with those type of programs. In general, Canada is immigrant friendly, and most immigrants are going to go to the major market centers where there's jobs and opportunity. So our regular Toronto, Vancouver, Alberta. Some people went to the East Coast. Edmonton is starting to. Hold on a second. New Brunswick is starting to pick up. That I see Ottawa and stuff like that. So major market centers, city centers where there's opportunity, and now people are worldwide more investor savvy themselves, and they're going to go for where there's opportunity and the price of entry is low.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And this, just to add to it, is not, I think, immigrant specific, but I do know that there are certain areas, like in Simcoe County, for example, for some period of time, like sometimes they will offer some sort of incentives for people to buy, like little programs and stuff like that. But I don't think it's specifically targeted towards
Okay. Okay.
immigrant, but I think it is to
Mhm,
kind of draw people in to buy land or
mhm,
housing and stuff.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess we are just about out of time. What
Yeah.
I'll do is,
Thanks, Adrian, for the population
yeah.
growth. Um,
Oh, he shared the
yeah,
chat. Okay,
in
cool.
the chat there.
Cool. Yeah, you guys have a look at the chat. I'm not gonna end the call, but I will end the recording here. And then if there is anybody who has to go, I just want to, respect your time. Thank you again so much for being with us today.
Mhm.
Special thanks again to Jenny for sharing your knowledge and your time. And um, again, contact information is in the chat as well. So yeah, and I've recorded. So once it's done, if you didn't register, maybe just reach out to myself or Max, and I'll make sure that you guys can get a copy of the call today. Okay. So yes, I'm just gonna stop the recording, and we're still hanging around if you guys have more questions. I just wanted to kind of end it there if people need to head out.